Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to work on the Mustang again. I'm going to put front brakes on this. I got new rotors. They're boxed up over here. We're going to get them out and try to get them on. And it is pouring the rain out here, storming, so I'm hoping that it don't start thundering and all kinds of stuff where you can't hear it. But let's get to it. I'm using a 17 millimeter to take these two bolts out here. Those are really good pads still, but for some reason they've got like a weird groove more into them. Go ahead, that piston is not came out very much, so what we'll do is we'll put the pad back in it and we'll smash it in. I'm going to take a little bungee here and see if I can't tie this thing up somehow. Let's get this cap off. Now you have a cotter pin here. You just want to straighten it out. Pull out your cotter pin. You should have a little slide nut here. You just slide it off. And this nut shouldn't be tight. If I'm not mistaken, it's something like 18 foot-pounds that you tighten it. A lot of times after you drive it, you should be able to just turn it by hand. Should have a little washer. Get it off. And you'll have a groove in your washer because your spindle will have a little slot. When you put your washer on, you slide it in that slot and it kind of keeps it in place. So there's the bearing, and the bearing looks fairly good. It spins good. Let's see, it's a Timken bearing as well, which is good. Timken makes really good bearings. Probably one of my favorite, really, but they ain't but a few manufacturers of bearings, so a lot of them are probably close to being the same. I do think Timken's quality is really good. That's a really good bearing. So let's clean off our spindle here. Try to get all this excess brake dust out of here. We want to clean this spindle good and check for any type of scarring. Not too bad. So these are the brakes I'm going to over the factory ones. I'm going to put a little grease. It's already got the bearing races inside of there, so I should just have to slide a bearing and then a seal. Okay, I'm going to get me some grease. I'm going to put the grease on this plastic here and just use one glove. I'm going to take my new bearing. I don't need the race because there's a race already in here, so I'm going to take this bearing. I'm just going to take that grease and I'm going to pack it into the bearing, really push it in, try to force that grease up between the rollers of the bearing. Then you can set your bearing down in here, just let it spin, make sure it feels good, and then you want to get your seal and you want to make sure that the tapered part goes in. And you set your seal down, and I've got me a socket about the right size. It's a little shy. Got me a little dead blow. I'm gonna just peck it, try to get it pecked in. That's the rear bearing. Let me put a little bit of grease on the spindle. I got the front bearing that will go in. Also, take off the race because the front race is in. Want to do the same thing. I'm going to get the rotor up. Be gentle, sliding it in. I'm gonna take some grease and kind of really make a mess and pack it in. You take your washer and you find that groove, slide it up in there, take your nut, this doesn't tighten real tight, just want to snug it up just a little. About 18 foot-pounds it calls for. Then you're going to have this keeper here. You slide that over the nut, and then you're going to have your cotter pin. Then you want to take your cap and just slides in. You want to wipe any grease that you see that you may have on a stud, a rotor. Make sure you spin good, it feels good and snug. Take some brake cleaner. Get it really nice and clean. I got the Extreme PowerStop Performance brakes. It comes with these little rubber bushings that go in here for your bolts. You can just take your channel locks and get the old ones out just by pulling through. Grab it and put it through the hole and just push. You can grab the back side and just wiggle it and keep pulling. This rear pad has a stainless backing with the little brackets that go into your piston. So you just grab it, push it, and you just put the caliper on. Take some of that lubricant, put it on the end of your screw, bolt through, line your caliper up. So this is the next day after I installed my brakes, and this is what the car is currently looking like right now. Starting to come together and look pretty good. And I installed the new brakes, so they look good. Got that caliper painted black. Got new wheel bearings, but we have a lot more to do to the car. But we are making pretty good progress. The car is starting to look better and better all the time, in my opinion. All right, guys, that concludes this video installing the front brakes. I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.